Timothy, talk to me, man. A lot of people know you. They know your site, timothysykes.com. They follow you on Twitter, at Timothy Sykes. They know you from Wall Street Warriors. When did you start getting into this business? Let's go backwards a little bit. How old were you when you did your first trade? Why did you get into this business? Why are you still in it? Let's go through all the deep, dark secrets.
Well, I'm still in it because I'm an addict. I'll tell you that. Everyone who's in this business for decades seems to be an addict. You love it. It's those little green and red little flickering lights. They're very addictive. You know this. But I started back in '99 when everything was crazy and easy, and I turned 12,000 into basically 2 million within 3 years while I was in high school and college. Tried to run a hedge fund, learned that I sucked at it. As my hedge fund was sucking, I got offered a gig on Wall Street Warriors. That turned out to be a hit. I was drunk in almost every scene because I was so depressed about my hedge fund losing 30%. I did not lose 100%, but then I became a blogger, and now I make actually more money just teaching other people to trade.
Okay, so let's talk about this. You went from rags to riches.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say rags, although, again, unshaven today. That experience, what was it, 12,000 to 2 million? Not a lot of people are going to do that. You were in high school. You were in the right time, right place, right market, obviously. Were you pretty much bull only at that point? Long only?
Yeah, I made my first million pretty much riding the coattails of boiler rooms without even knowing what boiler rooms were. So I was just buying. You
were playing penny stocks on the way up. Interesting.
That's it. I first tried to trade like stocks like Google, but then, with a small account back then, I couldn't, not even Google. I was buying like Amazon and Yahoo, but even then their stocks were so expensive and it just wasn't moving. I would see penny stocks going from 50 cents to $1 in a day. I'm like, game time, bring it. So I was just buying penny stock breakouts. Later we find out it's boiler rooms pushing them up. I just kind of fell into this chart pattern. So that was the first million. The second million was when I wised up how boiler rooms operate, became a short seller, and now I'm making, I probably made my third or fourth million. I don't know. You lose track, especially with taxes. But now I'm primarily short selling.
Okay, so you're primary short selling. You're on the other side of the boiler rooms today. But again, you're in high school. Where'd you get that grub stake? How'd you get that 12 grand? How'd you start?
That was my bar mitzvah gift money. My parents gave me control of it. They thought I would lose it all. They thought that, what kind of parents do that? They thought literally.
I think that's a great parent that will allow you that legitimacy in that room to make mistakes. I think that's fantastic. I've got 4 kids, and I'll tell you, I will, try to keep them away from the wolves, but I'll let them fail. I have no problem with teaching.
That's good. That's a smart thing. I don't think I can do that. When I have kids, I'm not going to be like that. I don't know. It's probably the right thing, but I'm going to spoil the heck out of my kids.
What kind of parents you have?
Just middle class. They're hard workers, and that's what they wanted me to be.
They both work?
What?
They both work?
Yeah, my dad's a financial planner. My mom, she we had a family jewelry store. I was supposed to join the jewelry business, but I found it boring, and I thought people spending thousands of dollars for little glass-looking things, like it was stupid.
So the typical Jewish family, you got a financial planner and a jeweler in the family.
That's it. It doesn't get much more stereotypical than that. So actually, I got 12,000 from my bar mitzvah, 6 grand from friends and family, and then 6 grand from my grandfather. He offered me a tennis court or money. I fit the stereotype, so I chose the money.
Were you a tennis player?
Yeah. So that's how I actually got started trading stocks. I was a tennis player. I was injured. I had surgery on my arm. I don't know if you can see there's a scar right there.
Oh, yeah. Would you have did you blow out?
I had like a cast, and I couldn't move, but I could type. So it was.
What kind of player were you? Were you baseline, or did you come to the net? What kind of player were you?
Nah, I was baseline. I like to hit it, but I like to draw them in. I was kind of a cheap player, so I would draw them in, and then I would try and hit them.
A little chop right at their head?
Yeah, right at their heads. I was pretty good. I was accurate, but
so were you a singles player or doubles player?
Singles, all singles. I was number 1 on the high school team, but I was a dick about it, so I wasn't captain.
Any crossovers from tennis into the markets? Any parallels that you can find? I played tennis also, probably not to the level that you were playing.
Nice.
I played high school doubles, but I was never the singles guy.
Yeah, I've always been like a workhorse. Like, my whole team hated me because we played at Yale in New Haven, Connecticut, and after practice every day, I would I would make them run the Yale Bowl up and down. I thought it was great practice. They hated it. It takes like an hour. So that's kind of what I do right now. Every single day I build a watch list for 2 to 3 hours. Most traders are not capable of doing that the night before. So there's one parallel.
A lot of preparation.
It's all about.
What other? I'm curious. Other games? Did you play other games as a kid? Or did you play Risk, backgammon, anything like that? That taught you strategy?
I've always been obsessive with one thing. So right now it's blogging and calling BS out on people. Back then it was tennis. So okay. I didn't have time for any games. I stink at most games. Okay. I suck at like SimCity and like Civilization and video games.
No, I was just talking, board games. You play any cards where where your parents, a lot of times, a lot of people, a lot of traders will find their statistical edge and learn how to manage risk by playing a lot of whether it's Risk, bridge. Games like that where you actually learn risk-reward strategies based upon your moves in the games.
Nah, man, I'm Forrest Gump. Like, I'm like the Forrest Gump of trading. Like,
So you are Forrest. Okay, great. I mean, this is good. I'm glad to hear this. So you stumble into it, right time, right place. You take penny stocks from $12,000 to $1 million. I mean, at that point, you got to be flying high. What do you think? When did you switch over to the dark side and go into the short side?
Well, year 2000, I made $700,000 the first 3 months just buying penny stock breakouts. After the NASDAQ collapse in April, there were no more penny stock breakouts. Right. So I made $700,000 the first 3 months. I lost $10,000 the last 9 months. So I needed to find a new strategy. And that's always happened, whether, even when it gets tough to find shares to short of these penny stock pump and dumps, you always have to adapt. No pattern that works so well is ever going to stay perfect for very long.